Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is draw my little edge here, which represents the area that would go under the mat or the frame. I'm just drawing it now so that I'm really composing to what will really show in the picture. But once I start my color, I'll go right up and over those edges just to be sure, because no reason not to if I can remember. Okay, so I'm just going to try to start with a few really of the big lines. Another kind of a good place to start is like up here at the sky. I can really see the shape of this because I'm comparing the top of the mountains to the shape of the sky. So that's not a bad place to start. But I don't want to commit myself too much, because what if I'm way too far down? So I composed this picture when I took it, and I composed it again when I cropped it. And now this first step in the drawing process is composing it for the last time, seeing how it's going to work on the paper. So the barn is like, if I can get all these big things in first, then I can see where the barn goes. So I see that it's just a little bit past where the blue hill intersects this other hill, closer hill. It's really sad, you know, this barn is, who knows what it's like now. I took this picture a few years ago before it started really falling down. So these two lines go to this vanishing point way up at the top somewhere. But as long as you make them parallel, they just can't do this. They can't be, one can't be further out than the other. They have to at least be parallel. You know, unless you're really close to the building, that's going to be good enough. So in perspective, parallel lines appear to converge, which means come together. So if your parallel lines are diverging, then you know you got a problem. So no diverging parallel lines. Things get smaller as they get further away, appear to get smaller anyway. And yeah, and lines that go further apart are lines that appear, or spaces that appear to get bigger. So that won't work. So anytime you see two parallel lines that are going into perspective, and if the space between them is bigger at the far end, then you know that you got a mistake. And so like that, you know, I got that too big, that space, but it's okay because that shows me, once I see it, I know that I made it too big and I just can make it smaller. All right, so here's another one of these bushes here by the river. And this big red tree. Wow, you really see how big that barn is when you see how small the house looks to it. So I heard that people that would try to stop and take pictures of this barn, the guy would run out and yell at them. So I did not get very close when I took this picture. I was on this side road. This is on Route 2 on the way to Twinfield. I actually stood here and painted this scene too, but it was a long time ago, so I'm not really worried about doing it again because I don't remember anything about painting it before. So I'm trying to get these big shapes in, which is, I'm not going to draw like a million shapes. I'm just drawing in the shapes I'm going to start as colors. Sometimes I do draw more. Oh, golly, look at that. Too much space right there. All right, that's good. Jeneane, you got the barn right in the middle. All right, well. So this is how I redraw. I can't really erase it all out, so I like to leave it there so I can see and make sure I don't put it right back in the same exact spot. So I redraw and then I get rid of what was wrong. And now I'm sure I've moved it over. You know, if it hadn't been right in the middle, maybe I wouldn't have moved it, but once I got over here and saw the shape of these trees, I realized I'd, gone too far that way. So now it's at least, there's different spaces on either side here. So that's good. Okay. And here's the corn. All right, and I got to get the shape of the, I tell you, reflections are a pain because it's like you have to draw double. And when you're outside and the wind kind of is blowing, and sometimes you can see the reflections and sometimes you can't. It's really hard to deal with. Or maybe you didn't draw the top part perfectly accurately, so then you draw in the reflections, and you draw them better, and then you realize, oh no, they don't actually match the tree line. So it's kind of a, okay, so I got to move this over a little bit more, but I don't mind that because it's got to be in front of the barn. And then I don't know if I'll put that sign in there or not, but it might be kind of cool to have that little sign in there to show that that's the road. And then this needs to move over a little bit too. I thought these dead trees with no leaves would make kind of interesting color. And I think I'm going to leave this tree out. There's not much to it, and it's right on the edge. Okay, so this painting, this photograph, the sky was really burned out because that's what happens when you take a photograph. It sort of averages everything, at least, you know, on the, I didn't, I mean, you can click on the sky and then make sure you don't have a burned out sky, but this sky was really burned out. So I just added in this cloudy gray day, but I'm not 100%. I'm just might, you know, kind of ignore it. So I wanted to do a cloudy day demo for you because usually I like to do sunny days, and this last week or two I've been out painting some on gray days, and I really enjoyed it. And it is really nice when you're outdoors painting on a gray day because because the light doesn't change as much. It stays more consistent. Okay, I think maybe I'll just stop with that for now. Just say, okay, that's good enough. Just an average, just to start. And then usually I like to just work right down the page. And I'm not going to worry too much if I have things. I mean, I can't, like, how can I tell if this is an accurate color when I have nothing else to compare it to? And remember, I said that I was going to try to remember to come under my clips and stuff and go all the way to the top. Okay. Okay, so it's just a first guess. It's literally a guess. I've got my red paper, so it's not a big problem if I just start things with green. So this is going to be that second hill. I didn't draw in those little cupolas, but I might add them. I'll add them later if I want them. It's too little and fussy to try to go around right now. So how about this? I'm just going to put one color everywhere. Maybe that would be helpful to everybody to see that. Just put one color in each spot and then come back after it's all laid in. Not try to refine anything. On a gray day, the only shadows are really underneath stuff. And I honestly cannot tell you why I'm working in the places I'm working. I'm just kind of bopping all around here. All right, so these are the trees that have lost their leaves. Well, that was really not what I thought it was. So I'm actually going to use another color there because that was not what I meant to pick up. But I could use it for the light side of that tree. Okay, and I have one more. One more leafless tree over there. Oh, and in here too. Maybe I should have started this darker. So. Okay. Well, can't find anything. And I did forget, but luckily I have only used one color, so it didn't really matter so much. But sometimes it's a good idea to do the sky and the water at the same time. And that is too light, but we're just going to leave it for now. It's funny, I haven't been working on the red paper lately, and I've just been using the gray paper because of, the time of year. So it's really different now to work on this red paper again. That's a really good thing, honestly, about using different colored papers is it's just another chance to not learn a formula. That's what I used to really like about Canson paper. It just came in so many colors. Yep, that is no good. I gotta do something about that. Can't leave that like that. Yeah, I don't think if people hadn't seen it, they would ever believe it, that people only paint the front of the house white, the part that's going to show. Although actually, maybe this isn't a white house. Can't really tell. But I'll just start it like this for now. Okay. Oops. Okay, so this tree actually comes down more. Okay, and then I guess that's more corn back there. Okay, so far I have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 14 colors. So that's a lot to try to figure out the relationships between. So now I'm going to try to make each of those better. And I guess I'm going to start with the sky. I think that's a little better. Wow, I can't believe I have a cold again. Just being around these kids all the time. I was out painting yesterday and I was so cold. And I didn't do a very good job putting my pastels away, so I'm kind of paying for it now. Okay, so I think I really got to buy some stuff. It's going to have to bite the bullet here. So I think my plan here is going to be to add one color to each area. Well, that actually turned out to be the same color. Does that mean I get to try again? Ha, I can do whatever I want. So I'm trying to show the difference between the top planes of the trees and the side planes. Okay, and then and I am working from the back to the front because I started with the sky again, and it's easier for me to compare things colors that are right next to each other. So I'm kind of working down. I think the next thing I want to do something about is that barn roof. But I cannot find the color I want. Okay, that's not too bad. Oops, sorry about that. Sleeve. I'm trying a different setup today, so now instead of sitting in front of the camera, I'm leaning over the top of the camera. And I started these two the same color, but now I want to show that they're, you know, catching the light at two different angles. Wow, that is just barely a different color and a little too dark. Need something slightly lighter. Nope, that would be the same color. Well, I think it is better though. And I'm not worrying about my drawing right now. It's, you know, it's out of control a little bit, so that's okay. Yeah, all I want to do is pick up that one color. Okay. So actually, I think need some green in there. So just trying to make it better. I'm not trying to, I mean, it's hopeless to try to make it perfect, so. So better is kind of a lot. It's an ask. Better. Wow, that silly sandbar. Yeah, I forgot to work on the sky again when I did the, on the water again when I did the sky. Okay. I've got to get that sandbar darker. And I just kicked the tripod. You know, I talk a lot about the water needing to go sideways strokes, but I'm thinking the reflection strokes have to have some vertical in them. I noticed on some people's paintings that that they didn't, and I thought that it made that look like something was laying on the water, not like in the water or something. So just because you can't, oh my gosh, you know, I've had so many teachers say, don't believe everything I say, and don't take it literally, and don't think it always applies. This is a pretty complicated thing, painting. And the best thing is to look and see what you see, and then you don't have to know much. That's the beauty of Impressionism compared to academic painting. Academic painting is very much knowledge-based, and Impressionism is visual, if that makes sense to you. That's why, you know, those academic painters, you have to, if you're going to be a more academic painter, you have to draw really, really well, and you learn how to do everything. And to be an impressionist, you just learn how to paint and how to look and how to see, and then you just try to look, and you're actually, you know, I'm kind of making an effort not to remember. Like I would never paint this picture back to back because I would have too much of a memory of what I did, and that's not very helpful. In other words, I would be painting what I remembered, maybe not what I was seeing. I wouldn't paint it back to back from the photograph. Like if you're painting outdoors in nature, that's totally different because every day is so different that you could paint the same scene on a different day. All right, well, that was unexpected, but I kind of like it. I kind of would like it up in here, I think, even more. Just need a gray. I need the right value of gray. Okay, so this is the one thing that's really not good. So I'm going to try to do something about that right now. Oh, did I? Yeah, I did do something there. Okay. Okay, so that's better. Okay, now the thing that seems really wrong is the top of the barn. Okay, so now I've basically put 2 colors everywhere, and I think I'm going to stop for this for now, for today.